Now, in this session, we learn about the attachments, mainly the muscular attachment. This is the body, again external surface. In the external surface, these two are the incisive fossa. In the incisive fossa, there will be attachment of mentalis muscle, triangular muscle. These two, like this, these are mentalis muscle. Next, along the superior border of the external surface like this, some fibers of orbicularis oris will get its attachment. Other muscles which will get attached over the oblique line. Suppose this is the oblique line, and the muscles which will take origin from here are from anterior to posterior. They will be like this. Anteriorly, depressor labii inferioris, which will depress the lower lip like this. The attachment will be here. Next, depressor anguli oris. This will get its attachment to the angle of the mandible, and it will cause depression of the angle of the mandible. Next one is the buccinator muscle. This buccinator muscle will be present along this oblique line at around the level of this 3 molar tooth, like this. This is known as the buccinator muscle. Now, if we look at the internal surface, at the superior genial tubercle, there will be attachment of genioglossus, which will go like this and will form the bulk of the muscle of the tongue. And from the inferior genial tubercle, a muscle will go downward to the hyoid bone. So the name will be geniohyoid. Now come to the mylohyoid line on both this side. From this mylohyoid line, mylohyoid muscle will take its origin. From both sides they will come like this and will help in the formation of the floor of the mouth, like this. From this two sides, this mylohyoid muscles will take its origin. Now come to the inferior border. Now the inferior border at the digastric fossa, there will be attachment of the anterior belly of digastric. The digastric muscle will be just like this. It has got one anterior belly and one posterior belly. This anterior belly will take its attachment from this part. Along the inferior border, there will be attachment of the investing layer of the deep cervical fascia, which is nothing but the deep fascia of neck. It will get its attachment like this. Outside or superficial to that, there will be attachment of platysma, which is an example of panniculus carnosus. Now, close on the inner surface, close to the posteriormost molar, and encroaching the superior border also, at this portion, there will be attachment of the superior constrictor muscle, which is one of the muscles of the pharynx. Now come to the attachment of rami. What are the muscles gets attached? On the external surface, there will be attachment of masseter, which is one important muscle of mastication. At the coronoid process, there will be attachment of the temporalis, again an example of muscles of mastication. Here there will be at the neck of the mandible, here there will be attachment of the lateral pterygoid muscle, and on the inner side, just close to the angle of the mandible, there will be attachment of the medial pterygoid muscle. So all these 4 muscles are muscles of mastication. So these are the muscles attached to this bone. Now for your exam purpose, you have to remember something like what are the ligaments attached here, what are the nerves comes in relation, what are the vessels comes in relation, like this. So let us start one by one. First, what are the ligaments which are getting attached here? First, come to this point like this. Here this mandible is articulating with the temporal bone, and this is forming this temporomandibular joint, which is definitely an example of synovial joint. Being a synovial joint, the capsular ligament will be present here, and which will get attached like this around the neck, and the lateral and posterior ligaments of this joint, that is the temporomandibular joint, will get its attachment to the mandibular bone like lateral and posterior. The lateral temporomandibular joint, lateral temporomandibular ligament will get its attachment on the lateral part of the neck, and the posterior will get attachment to the posterior part of the neck. Other than this, what are the other ligaments? Sphenomandibular ligament is attached to the lingula. This is the lingula. Here there will be attachment of the sphenomandibular ligament that will come from the sphenoid, and at the angle of the mandible there will be attachment of the stylomandibular ligament, which will come from the styloid process of the temporal bone. This is the angle of the mandible where there will be attachment of the stylomandibular ligament. Just a minute. This is the this one is the styloid process. From here there will be attachment of the stylomandibular ligament like this from here to here, and from the sphenoid there will be attachment of the sphenomandibular ligament to the lingula like this. Other than this, there will be one ligament like structure, that is raphe. Pterygomandibular raphe will get its attachment just posterior to the third molar tooth. Now the thing is, what is raphe? Raphe is nothing but the site of interlacement of these two muscles. Suppose this is the muscle fibers and this is another muscle fiber. They are getting interlaced at this point. So this is known as raphe. So pterygomandibular raphe, which is getting attached here, definitely this is the site of interlacement of two muscles. What are those muscles? On outer side there will be buccinator, and on inner side there will be superior constrictor muscle. So what are those muscles which are forming this pterygomandibular raphe? The muscles are buccinator on outer side and superior constrictor on inner side. Next thing you have to remember, what are the salivary glands which are coming in relation to this bone? Like in the posterior border, the parotid gland will be present like this, encroaching it like this. In the sublingual fossa, there will be sublingual gland, and in the submandibular fossa, there will be presence of submandibular gland. Next thing which we come across, that is what are the nerves which are coming in relation. First, just on the medial side of the neck like this, the nerve which will come in relation, this is the auriculotemporal nerve. Next, in the mandibular notch like this, the nerve which will pass, this is the masseteric nerve. Now through the mandibular foramen into the mandibular canal, the nerve which will enter, that is the inferior alveolar nerve. Mylohyoid nerve will lodge over this mylohyoid groove. The marginal mandibular nerve, which will be present like this, anterior-inferior to the attachment of this masseter muscle like this. Mental nerve, which will come out of this mental foramen, and lingual nerve, which will come in relation to the sublingual fossa on the inner side, just below the third molar. This is the point. So these are the nerves which will come in relation. Now what are the arteries which will come in relation? These are facial artery, where in the submandibular fossa there will be facial artery comes in relation. Next, maxillary artery, which will run medial to this auriculotemporal nerve. Suppose this one is the auriculotemporal nerve, so this one will be the first part of maxillary artery. Other arteries or the vessels which will come in relation, this is the inferior alveolar in the mandibular foramen, mylohyoid in the mylohyoid groove, masseteric in the masseteric or the mandibular notch, and mental artery at the mental foramen. Next thing, the question is normally or commonly asked, that is, what are the muscles of mastication which are attached? I have already mentioned. Next very important thing is age changes.